Dr. Jess, you can start now.
Yes, sir, I'll start. Yes. Yes. A very good morning to all the learners. Thanks for joining. Very good morning. And we have discussed in the last class on block 3, that is research methodologies and methods, which block 3 contents or contemporary perspectives. So we have discussed in that two major areas in the last class, that is uh, one is the feminist approach and one is comparative method. Okay, just to recap on those two areas, on comparative methods, we learned on uh, why, what are the circumstances we call the research is a comparative, right? So, what are the different ways we can do the comparative method study? What are the benefits of it, and how far we must equip ourselves to compare the two societies or two cultures or two different districts together to study and identify what the matters related to it and the importance we have learned. So it is to recognize the cultural diversity and various other angles we have learned in the last class about it, right? So we have the assist in policy making and governance and enhances the understanding of globalization's impact and offers insights into historical development of societies. Right? So this is what we have learned in the last class, and we also learned the areas related to key types of comparative researches. So cross national comparison, historical comparison, and case study based comparisons, like experimental comparisons we have done. And we also learned the challenges in comparative research. That's very, very, very important. How we make the data availability, reliability, and cultural biases in interpretation, and ethical concerns and difficulty in standardizing our variables. Right. So we will in different classes we learn on the ethics. What is the ethical concerns related to social science research, and what is variable it's all about. Right. So we also learned on notable comparative research studies in social sciences done by Emil Durkheim's research and Weber's study, right, and various other studies which are comparative studies. And why the comparative study is very, very important? It's for policy formulation and helps in understanding social structures and education system improvements and cross-cultural psychology. So when we do comparative study, we really support in terms of policy formulation because we understand the different distinct societies or the government programs or whatsoever or which is connected with the society or social related problems, so that we can recommend through our studies to the government or policymakers or NGOs or whatsoever who has a direct or key informant of people who contribute to the society. They can they can come with a good policy formulation. So that is a very, very important uh, in terms of bringing the policy into concern. And summary of comparative method, we summarized it, and we also learned about feminist approach. When what is feminism? We just had an introduction on it, and how we need to move from the male-centric research to female-centric research, right? So how far it is related, okay? And I'll also give the examples today on female-centric research. And the key principles of feminist research is to uh, see the gender as a central category, emphasize on subjective experiences, commitment to social justice, and interactional analysis. Right. So we have this liberal feminism types of feminist approaches. We have a kind of what is liberal feminism advocates for equal rights within the existing systems, and radical feminism challenges patriarchal structures, and socialized feminism links gender oppression to economic inequality and uh, interpersonal kind of things, right? So these are the very much interested to learn on the feminist approach. So intersectional feminism examines overlapping social identities, right? So you see a lot of things on the types of feminist approach in the last classes. Uh, Moreover, we learned on the importance of that and key feminist scholars and the criticism of feminist approach. Uh, we have the application of feminist research, workplace guidance, gender pay gap, representation of women in media, and we had a summary of feminist approach. Right? I'll just help you to understand uh, concept of feminist. Is my audio is okay? Do you have any
Yes,
problem
sir.
in
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
okay?
okay, sir.
Because I switched on the fan, it has high volume, so that I don't know whether it disturbs you. I just to stop my presentation. Yeah? I'll share the other thing. How many of you know about ICSSR? ICSSR. Have you heard about this ICSSR?
No, sir.
Indian Council
Yes,
of
sir.
Indian Council of Social Science Research, right? So you find it here, Indian Council of Social Science Research has called for a a research, okay, for funding. Is it being shared for you? Are you able to
Yes,
see
yes,
that
yes, sir.
guidelines for
Yes,
Munaskola Devi Akila Boy Holker special call for women-led research on women-led development, right? So this is a kind of a call for feminist research, right? You see here, only though the applicant can be only a woman, right? The applicant, okay. So men cannot apply for this kind of research. Only women can apply, and the study also will be done on women. You see here the various topics on what are the areas they can write a proposal for funding up to 25 lakhs per year. Okay, this is a year-long study. This study has to be carried out for 12 months, right? So carried for 12 months. They will pay, they will give the funding for up to 25 lakhs, right? So you see all the research areas they have asked for. So women-led social and political development, economic development, financial inclusion and entrepreneurship, science and technology innovation, climate action, and everything. The study should be carried on. What are the women's contribution into it or women's experience into it? All right. So they need to study on women's contribution or women's involvement in all those almost 15 or 17 areas which they have called for. You see here how they have to frame the methodology, right? From here onwards, you find it. You see here, the leading meticulously evolved hypothesis, subjective research questions, scientific and systematic research methodology, specifying sampling types and sources of research data, interview schedule, questionnaire, and tools and software to be employed for arriving results. Right? With a specific scope limitation covering mitigation strategies, the research gap should be explicitly identified, articulated, and shall become the basis of the research proof. proposed research, right? All right. You see here, exclusively they have said something. Right. You see here, the applicant should design and develop their proposal with an emphasis on women voices, lived experiences, community mapping, participatory rural appraisal in order to produce evidence based research outcomes. So, the researcher may adopt ethnographic, case study, triangulation, sequential, embedded design, and approach for conducting research in the areas identified under this call. Okay, so how our research proposal should be, right? So this may help you when you have to write a research proposal, right? For academic guide. Okay, what you have to select a research guide for your research when you are doing a research on your topic. So you should write a proposal to give to your guide, stating that this is what I am going to do uh, for the approval. So the research proposal should contain the methodology, right? So the methodology, if it is like that, okay. So what method you are going to use and what is your objectives, what is your sample and how you are going to arrive at that sample, everything need to be clearly mentioned when you are writing the proposals. For that purpose, just I have, it is an example of feminist research, right? Because it gives all the criteria what we have learned on feminist research. It's done on the feminine women's led development and focus on women's issues or women's contribution to the nation building, as well as the researcher also should be a woman. All right. Even the co-project director should be a woman. That's what the eligibility criteria, and they should have PhD to the minimum. So if you have a PhD, you can apply for it. But if you are not working in the colleges or any universities, you can affiliate with them and you can apply for this research proposals. Okay, that is a part. So the reason behind sharing this call for is to for us to understand how the feminist type of research or research areas we can focus, right? For that purpose I have just shared with you. You can go to the website of ICSSR, Indian Council of Social Science Research, and identify this call for, and it will give you more idea about the proposals, how it should be, as well as the topics. Also, some topics you can select it for your research in the diaspora paper. I'll share the discuss. Okay. So today we are going to learn about participatory method. Any idea about the term participatory? What is participatory? What is participatory method? Any idea? What do you mean by participatory? Participation. It's not a very tough question, I hope so. Unless if you are not purely engaged in this class, it is difficult. But the question is, what is participatory?
Sir, participatory,
Hmm.
it the participatory method may include uh, not only the researcher but other people, like maybe the the people in general on whom the research is being held or something like that.
Okay, okay, okay. Any other? Thank you.
Is it related to field participation? I mean,
What do you mean by field participation?
to actively, to engage.
Okay. Who will
But
engage?
otherwise, also in quantitative methods, also we participate. If you are, if
Who
we are,
will participate?
pardon, sir.
Who will participate?
The researcher.
Okay. All right.
So if we are talking on terms of this research, then participation would be from research point of view. The research will participate.
Researcher will participate.
Yes.
Okay. Any other?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
About my research, I am talking about the diasporic people. I can involve them to collect data for me also. This kind of work is participation also.
So you mean that you will make sure that your respondents are participating?
Yes.
Okay.
For collecting data for me.
Okay. 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 Let us, any other answers? Any other answers? Any other answers? Okay, let me give an example. Now we are going to the school to observe the behavior of the students in the school. Okay, the bullying behavior. Whether the students are involving in bullying, uh, uh, teasing the other students, or beating them, or whatsoever. How you make it is a participatory method. Participatory method is the
Observation.
method of, yeah, observation, right? So while you are observing, do students know that you are observing them?
Few may know, few may not know. It depends on the
Huh?
situation. Few may know, few may not know. It depends on the situation and the type of, study we are doing, we are conducting.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. What type of study it is? If you're
Bullying
if
behavior.
you are, huh?
We were discussing about bullying behavior among students.
Yeah.
So if I am studying about it, I may actively participate. I may observe from somewhere else without knowing or without with knowing. I mean, in the knowledge of the students or without the knowledge of the students.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, when you say participatory method, okay, participants actively engage in the research process, right? And emphasizes on local knowledge and experiences, focuses on social change and policy impact, encourages co-creation of knowledge. Okay, that means when you say participatory method, your research population, its research sample is participating in your research. It's a simple explanation of what is participatory research. Do you get the point? Participants, when you say participants, your respondents, okay, your sample of your research actively engage in the research process. Okay, for example, now you are going and asking the students, do you experience bullying? Okay, you ask a student named Ramesh, you just call Ramesh in the classroom, and you are asking whether have you been bullied, or did you bully anyone, or any or 10 or 15 questions you are asking regarding bullying. This is not a participatory research, right? When you say participatory research, you are making them to participate in the research process. Right. So you are in making them to be in their own environment, and you are start observing them, or you are giving them a certain task and make them to do it, and through that you are just observing them. That means they are actively participating. You are giving some group project with a heterogeneous group, whether they are able to accept others views, and how they are denying others views, whether it is very positively they are denying or negatively, just they just shut your mouth and listen me. So any conflict is arising, whether they are able to put forth their thought process in a very positive way. Okay, that means you are making your sample, okay, or your the part the to whom you are going to study to be more participative in your research. Do you get my point? Any doubt in it? You understand what is participatory research? Means that your respondents, your sample, it as going through the process, and they are given certain task to participate in the research process. It doesn't mean whether they should be aware that their behaviors are going to be assessed or observed. That doesn't mean they need to know that they are being observed. They should not know, I say. Okay. For that purpose, you are making the for the research purpose, there you are making them to be participative in the research process. Right? Okay. That's what is clearly said. Participants actively uh, engage in the research process, emphasizes local knowledge and experiences, focuses on social change and policy impact, right? And encourages co-creation of knowledge, right? So these are the important parameters of your research process. So now you are going to the village and you want to study their what to say their culture, or how they are doing the kind of mm, the tradition, how it is declining, or how they participate in the village festival or something like that. So you in your research, that is your study, and you do that research while they are participating in the process, right? You are just collecting the data while they are participating in the research, participating in the process of doing it. So, making them to understand, and you collect data you collect data based on their knowledge they have on the particular cultural activity. For example, if you have some kind of handicrafts work, okay, now you are going to the particular village which is known for handicraft, right? You want to study how they are doing it. While they are participating in making that particular handicraft, you are sitting with them and you are assessing how they are participating, how they are doing it, and asking them to explore their knowledge on the particular area, so that the local knowledge and experience you gather from them. This is a participatory method. Okay, and the various ways you do it, right? When you say participatory method, it means very clearly that your respondents are participating actively in the research process. of data collection. Right? So any doubt? Any doubt?
So participation in the sense from both sides, sir. I mean the respondent and the research person.
Researchers, you need to participate.
Yes, that is that.
Means that you are not going to participate in the process of making some kind of handicraft in my example. You just collect data, but the respondent is participating. You are not asking the respondent, just come, I'll collect data, what is your name, how many years you are doing this work and all those things. Rather, your studies, in your study, you are making the participants to be the participating in the process and you collect data.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
So in short, both will participate. Is it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. Principles of participatory research is a collaboration with the communities, right? So you collaborate with the communities, shared ownership of research, right? So the ownership is shared, and you make them to do something, and you collect data. And sometimes you share that we are doing a research and everything. So you collect data from them. Recognition of local expertise, okay, values and traditional knowledge. You track it from them. And the action-oriented approach, research leads to change, right? So we have done recently on handlooms and handicrafts research, right? So it is funded by Crafts Council of India through Institute for Human Development located in Delhi. So what we have done, it is purely a study to analyze the economic contribution of the handlooms and the handicrafts. So we have done it in Coimbatore. So this study is to analyze how far their economic contribution to the nation building, as well as the problems they are facing right now. So sometimes we ask them to do. They were actively involving in the process of handlooms, making handlooms. So we are not taken power looms. Power looms where they are using electricity for making the saris or something, but we purely have done it on handloom sector, right? So when you are done it on handlooms, they face a problem and everything. They just apart from data collection, we do collect data on the participatory approach. When they are doing it, we collect data and we just made them to explore how they do it and all those things. So it sometimes gave us good learning to conduct a participatory research, right? And so ethical responsibility ensures participants' welfare and research leads to change. These are the very much when we want to bring a change in the particular community or society, we need to go for a participatory research, right? So types of participatory research, action research. When you say action research, it solves practical issues in communities. When you say action research, it's very important. Action research is to solve the problem always, right? So action research helps for the particular problem to be solved very immediately, right? When you say in medical field, they say action research for COVID. We know that we have. The world is need to discover the new vaccination for COVID, and they have done very immediately, right? Whenever as soon as the COVID has affected us, and within few months they have come with a lot of medicines, even in India, in other countries. The reason behind this is the action research, because we need to end this problem, right? So in social science research also, we go for action research to solve certain problems that is prevailing in the country, where participatory approach is very important, right? And community-based participatory research, that is CPPR. Okay, engage locals in problem solving. So what are the, we do study in social work, community-based participatory research. When we do that, we see to that the community is participating in the research and solving the problem, right? So we, for example, there is a problem of water scarcity in the particular village. So there is a less rainfall. Okay, so we have identified that. So community based participatory, what are the things need to be done? Whether the pond should be created in the dict in that particular village, or a lot of trees need to be planted, or the water saving strategy, okay, need to be done, or trip to water facilities need to be implemented. So what are the things need to be done? It is a community based participatory research, right? We identify the problem and we solve the problem. So participatory rural appraisal, we say it's PRA, very important techniques that we use in social work. Participatory rural appraisal. We know that the term appraisal, when you say appraisal, you are working, we are all might be working fraternity. So we will be appraised in our company in a year or 6 months once, in order for the various benefits if you want to avail from the industry or organization. So based on our performance, they will hike the salary or promote us to the next position. Okay, so this is a participatory rural appraisal, means that it is a rural appraisal and it is a participatory rural appraisal, means that the people in this particular community participate in the appraisal process, means that they will do the assessment on the problems, not only the problems, the good things that is there in the community, right? What are the resources are in this community, whether there is a school, whether there is kind of shops, how many shops are there, hospital is there, whether we have a pond or we have well here, whether all the people are able to use it, what is the educational status of girls in that particular village. So that will be a kind of study being done through participatory rural appraisal. Here, more than the researcher, the community know very well then of the particular community. All right. So participatory rural appraisal, where the researcher makes the community to participate in the research and collect the data from them. Right. So this is what a participatory rural appraisal is all about. And participatory evaluation, assessing social programs with the community input. Have you heard about social audit? Social audit. Have you heard about social audit?
No, sir.
No. Financial audit. Have you heard about financial audit? Have you heard about financial audit?
Yes.
What is financial audit?
Sir, at the end of the
Receipts and
financial year,
disbursements. We check about receipts and disbursements.
Huh?
We check about receipts and disbursements related to budget, etc.
Okay, okay. Then what is kind of, can you guess what is social audit then? What they will do? It's just imagine what they will do in the social audit. What they may do in social audit?
Study about problems and solutions. No.
It's audit. Okay. So in social audit, they will do, for example, have you heard about MG Narega program? Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Guarantee Act. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. We say that 100 days work. Have you heard about it? If you go to their website, there will be a column called the social audit. Okay. So they will do social audit. It is a participatory approach. When you say social audit, they will go to the village, they will go to the beneficiary, whether they have received the money exactly, whether they are getting the job properly, whether there is any discrimination in providing job under MG Narega, or whether there is any problem, their grievances, or any kind of, not only the problems and issues, even the strength of that particular program, they assess it. Okay, they will audit us like a financial audit. Okay, what do we do financial audit? We do it. What are the things are there and how much has money flow and how much has been spent, whether there is a bill and whether the money is spent for the purpose of what is has been sent. If 1 crore is received from the government of India to my company to welfare the persons with disability, that 1 crore need to be used for the persons with disability. I should not use that amount for the women, empowerment of women. No, I need to use that 1 crore for the persons with disability. So whether the money is spent used for the purpose of what the money is given. Okay, that is called a financial audit. So social audit is also is the same, whether it has reached the target beneficiaries, whether it has reached the exact person, it is on time. Moreover, whether there is it's a program is run smoothly without any hindrance. Okay, it is just for namesake they have done it, or the authenticity of the beneficiary is what is given in the given to the government. It's all those things being checked through social audit. Okay, so social audit is an emerging topic, and in all the government programs, social audit is done. Okay. So types of participatory research is the participatory evaluation. That is called kind of what to say. Uh, uh, Excuse me. Kind of participatory evaluation. So importance of participatory method, it leads to accurate and meaningful research, empowers marginalized groups, right? So it is the purpose of participatory method is to marginalize vulnerable groups and encourages trust between researchers and communities and strengthens the real world application of research. That's very, very important. So real world application of research. Where you go to the participants and you make them to participate in the research and collect data, right? So it's very, very important in terms of, so when you use the types of research, whether PRA or any other methods, you make the research respondents to participate in your research. And the challenges in participatory research is power imbalance between the researchers and participants, ethical concerns in data collection, time and resource intensive process. It will take a lot of time and resources, and difficulty in standardizing participatory method. We cannot standardize the participatory method. This is what we cannot use a standardized scale as we are using in a quantitative method or any other qualitative method is matter like observation or whatsoever, because it's an open form. So participatory method is standardizing is very, very difficult, but it gives a lot of meaning to the research, right? So ethical concerns, sometimes you need to break it confidentiality. We need not to keep, may not keep the confidentiality in matter, because a lot of people are participating in the research. They reveal what is being discussed and everything. But if the matter is very open, then the confidentiality never matters here, right? Then case studies in participatory research. We say the Paulo Freire's participatory education model, education as empowerment, health intervention in rural communities, So community-driven health solutions and participatory budgeting in local governance, citizens engaging in financial decisions, agriculture development programs, farmers collaborating in sustainable practices. You see here, participatory education model. As I have said in the previous class also, when I was discussing about the comparative study, in Kerala, they have a participatory education model where the various stakeholders of the education form a committee in each school: parents, students, principal, educator, panchayat leader, and everything. So each and everything of that activity in the school need to be discussed in the committee. Then only they come up with a program like annual day, teachers parents meeting, taking action on the students who is kind of creating problems in the school and all those things. It is on a kind of participatory model. So health intervention in rural communities, participatory budgeting in local governance, right? Agriculture development program. You know that FPO, Farmers Production Organization or something like that. So there are a lot of participatory things is happening where it will boost the research. Moreover, this kind of participatory programs need to be studied also. How far it is, how far it is better than the non-participatory approaches. So, if you want to study the education model in Kerala, you can study how it is bringing the solving lot of problems without getting emerged. Okay, so that is one of the areas. And summary of participatory research, we have studied community-centered approach leads to meaningful social change, balances academic rigor with the practical impact, strengthen the trust between the researchers and community. So this is a summary of the participatory research. So overall summary of the units we have learned on a comparative method, understanding societies through comparison, feminist approach addressing gender biases in research, participatory method engaging communities in research. Okay, their combined insights enhance social sciences. So in this unit, particularly in this unit of block 3, we learned on in block 3 we learned about the comparative method, feminist approach, and participatory method. What need to be done in the research? Do you have any doubt in this particular block? Contemporary perspective. Any doubt in it?
Sir, the class which we are now having are the online classes or can also be considered as a participatory method. Like we are engaging with academic counselor and vice versa.
Yeah, participatory is if you are asking many questions and all those things, if it is happening, it is participatory. If you are there is no kind of conversation, then how it is becomes participatory. It is not all people come together. It is how far it is more by conversation and what the data we are collecting. But it's considered as a participatory. I have no doubt in it.
Sir.
It is considered as participatory. The thing is, I am telling, when you say participatory research, it is more of the research what we are making more participation into it. When you say participation, lot of discussion, lot of talk, okay, probing. Okay, one of the skill in participatory research is probing. Okay, we need to, as a researcher, we need to ask many questions to the community. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we need to ask so many questions and probe them, right? We need not to embarrass them by our questions, but we probe them. Okay, what do you do? If there is a child, why you are not sending to the school after 10th standard? Then they will say the school is too far. If you construct a school here, will you send your child? No, 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 no. We will after 10th standard, we won't send our kids to the school, girls to the school. Then we ask why. Okay. So this kind of probing is very, very necessary to understand the social problems. When you are making the participatory research, it is very, very important, right? So feminist research is something like we do in depth on the issues and challenges or the success stories done by female. Okay, to reduce the gender bias, to reduce the gap on the male dominated research or research on male persons alone, right? We sometimes neglect the women's contribution to the nation building, right? As I have said, I hope I have said in one of my classes, the working hours of the female in the household, it is higher than the men, even both are going to work. Okay, the contribution is high, right? So this type of things we need to study to in order to bring the inclusiveness in the research, bring the see, for example, we have done a handlooms and handicraft. If we go to a particular community where the handlooms and the handicrafts are more, we find only one person doing a handicraft there. Okay, whether we need to take 10 respondents out of 50, out of 50, there will be 49 handlooms and only one handicraft. If you go by the sample, okay, there will be a high chance that the one person need can be neglected from the study, right? If you are going to take 10 out of 5, but the sample is such a way is driven, it's a stratified random sampling method we use, that one person automatically will be selected for the sample size out of 50, because that one person should not be neglected because he is in small in number. Do you get my point? So sampling is very, very important. Means that the study should go to the un, to, to study the unrecorded persons or unrecorded people. Because they are small in number, they should not be neglected. Because they are not in the limelight, they should not be neglected. So it's very, very important. See, research is very, very interesting. Okay, and if we love it and if we do it very, very systematically, then we love it, and we feel of satisfaction that we are contributing to the academicians, we are contributing to the government about what is prevailing in the society, right? Any other question?
Sir, participatory research need not be in person. I mean, we need not go in field. Like nowadays, some researchers, what they are doing, they are sending one WhatsApp message to respond to their questions. So even that can also be considered as a participatory research.
No.
So then participatory research should be in person.
Participatory research can be through online also.
Yes.
Means that can be in online. It is not sending the questionnaire. See, for example, you are bringing all the respondents into Google Meet or into Zoom Meet and you are asking questions.
Yes.
Okay, that can be a focused group discussion. It's not a participatory research. When you go to the field and you do make them to participate, do you understand? Make them to involve in the particular process of what you want to assess or what you want to get the data, then it is a participatory research.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we go to the next unit, that is unit 4. Sorry, block 4. Here we learn on types, methods, and design of research. Right? This is a block 4. Okay. So what are the types are there? What are the methods are there? It's little more exhaustive one, but we will learn it. So we know that when we talked about the introduction to research, we learned about research is a systematic process of collecting, analyzing, interpreting information to answer questions or solve problems. Okay, so it follows a structured approach to generate new knowledge and validate existing knowledge. This is a very basic understanding we should have as a learners towards research, right? So research is a systematic process of collecting. So you have some system to collect data, and you have some system to analyze the data, and you have some system to interpret the data, interpret the information. For what? To answer questions. We have some research questions or hypothesis or to solve problems. Okay. So you have some research questions, right? You are saying that women are more intelligent than men. For that particular question or hypothesis, you should collect systematically. You should analyze systematically, and you should analyze and interpret the data systematically to answer the questions whether women are more intelligent than men. Okay, so it follows a structured approach to generate new knowledge or validate existing knowledge, right? So for that you have a characteristics of research. Systematic. When you say systematic, it is a structured process. Like it is logical, means that uses reasoning to research conclusions. Very important. Okay, so it is logical first of all, and when you say logical, you have reasoning behind it, right? And it is empirical. When you say empirical, based on observation and experiments. Whenever the term empirical is used, you have the data to say that this is correct. You have the data to say that women are more intelligent than men. Okay, that is empirical, based on observation. Okay, and it is replicable, means that findings can be tested again and again. Findings can be tested. That is what replicable. And if it is replicable, means the findings need to be similar in social sciences. It cannot be same, but it can be similar. But when it is comes to pure science, for example, chemistry, I don't know much on chemistry, but the kind of anything, the results should be the same. Even if you do it in Canada or US or Saudi Arabia or in India, the results of both any kind of test between two kind of two unit or two something, the results should be same in chemistry, right? But it's not possible in social sciences, but it can be similar. And the objective, free from personal bias. Okay, so we should be objective in nature. The study should be objective, not subjective. That means free from personal bias. So when you have these 4 elements in your research, then we consider that as a systematic. We say that research is systematic, right? So very important elements is all about. So importance of research helps in decision making, identifies solution to problems, expands knowledge in various fields, and supports policy making and development, right? So these are the importance of research. And what are the types of research is all about? The classification of research. Research can be categorized based on purpose, approach and a methodology, right? When you say that the research is peer reviewed, when you say research, it's systematic approach, and it should have a objective and unbiased. It has empirical evidence. It has a replicability, and it should have a transparency, and it should have a logical and critical thinking, and it's peer reviewed, and it is uh, uh, literature process. Okay, so when you say all those things, it is a research, right? It is a it strengthens the research quality, right? So basic first one, the types of research. After we have seen the elements of research, the basic versus applied research, right? These are two types of research. When you say basic, focuses on theories and principles. When you say applied, it solves practical problems, right? So when you say that it is basic, it is to build the theory. Okay, the purpose of the research is to build the theory, to bring the theory or bring certain principles. Okay, certain rules and regulations. So that is the fundamental aim of the basic research. When you say applied research, it is to solve practical problems. So you have a theory already. Okay, for example, you have kind of a theory on training and development. Okay, in HRM we have it, training and development. And there is a problem in your industry of there are a lot of people who are not trained much, or they are not equipped, so that the production is very low, or there is no particular contribution from the employees to the organizational growth. Now you have the theory, you need to apply this theory to solve this problem. Okay, so you are taking so and so someone's theory to impact on the problems that is existing in the society, so that the you bring or certain kind of solution to the problems that is existing, or you bring down the particular solution. Okay, that is called the applied research. Means you are applying certain theory into practice. You get the point? So that is the applied research. When it's a basic research, it's to formulate the theory. So you collect data. The main fundamental is to formulate the theory. So you want to do the problems that is existing and in older persons. So you formulate a theory. What are the problems that is existing? Why is this existing? Okay. So that is the basic research. Then you have a qualitative versus quantitative research. Okay. When you say qualitative, explore such subjective experiences and meanings. That's what we have discussed in the just now. It's a participatory research. Participatory research is full of qualitative. Means you explore subjective experiences, my own experience, subjective. Okay. I am asking, I am doing a case study of the person's one who is trying to get some government benefit or programs. So what are the problems he or she faces to get it? Okay, he is the victim of who paid the bribe. So why she paid the bribe? So what are the circumstances that happened? Okay, so in depth you are studying on qualitative research, and quantitative research, it's on numerical data. It is fully on objective in nature. Okay, more on objective in nature means that you get the data on the based on the objectivity, not on the own experience, based on the objectivity. What is because you bring it in numbers, right? So this is versus qualitative and quantitative. Exploratory, descriptive, and explanatory research. So exploratory, it is on pure research. When you say exploratory, it is investigate the new problems. Okay, explore something new. Okay, whether a man can go to moon or not, highly explorative in nature. All right, explore new things. All right. So descriptive provides a detailed description of a phenomena. The phenomena in a sense between two variables. What is happening? How far it affects? You describe, as a doctor describes the problems of the patient, right? The causes of it. Explanatory studies cause and effect relationship. What one impacts on the other, right? So cause and effect, right? Demand supply. It's a explanatory. So you explain what one factor affects the another factor, how far it impacts. Experimental and non-experimental research. When you say experimental, it involves manipulation of variables. Okay. For example, you divide, all right, experimental research, you divide the population and you sample and you make them to control group and uncontrolled group, right? That is a experimental. For example, you are going to the class, you want to study the impact of the training program. So you divide the population into two, right? One is experimental group, another one is a non-experimental group. To the experimental group, you give the training program continuously. After 30 days, you see the impact of it. Whether that impact is there on the experimental group, you test the non-experimental group whether it has any impact. If it is there is some impact on the problems, for example, you have taken a training program on stress management, and you have done a pre-test of knowledge on stress on the both group, right? Now, out of 30, you have taken a 15 people from there and do a stress management training program. So after that, you give some kind of test to the again the both of group. If the knowledge of the stress management increases in the 15 people whom the training has given, then it is a success of the program. That is called a stress management program. Is very successful. So that study is called an experimental study. Okay. And it is non-experimental research. You don't experiment, observes the phenomena as they occur naturally. It includes survey, case studies, observational settings, and it conducts the real world settings. So it's non-experimental research. You don't bother about that. Okay. And these are the various methods of research. Any doubt in it? Any doubt?
Sir, until now, I am in the thinking that participatory research is the experimental research. I mean, the last slide you have shown.
What last slide I have shown?
Slide number 9. 9? No. This one. So,
You're correct.
but it is actually not. It comes under non-experimental
Research, non-experimental.
So participatory is non-experimental.
Non-experimental research, it comes under qualitative.
Yeah, okay. But until now, maybe other students also might be having this doubt. But I am having, I doubt that this comes under experimental, because we are experimenting in the field. So
no, experimenting, you should make someone as a control group. For example, I'll put a scientific in science how they do in agriculture. If they are coming with a new crops, okay, They will divide the field into 4. They will divide the field into 2. Okay. I can do it. What I see here.
Sir, control for comparison. Is it so?
Wait. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay. This is experimental group. This is control group. Okay. So in what they do in research. Okay. So here in the experimental group, they will put some plant here. In agriculture, I am telling. Okay. If they want some crops, okay, crop planting, which they want to study whether these crops gives maximum yield within 3 months. Okay. They will go to control group. They will plant here also. It's a old crop. Do you get my point? This is a new crop, okay, which they want to test, okay, new crop. They want to test whether it comes in 3 months. Do you get my point?
Yes.
Right. Now, there is a possibility, okay, that is called the extraneous variable. I am going a little deeper on experimental research. You can read your textbook. It may give this also. They will go deep on this because imagine the crop which they have planted in this land, okay, may yield within 3 months because of the fertility of the land. Am I right? The fertility of the land also may be the reason behind why this crop has given yield within 3 months. Okay. Am I right or wrong? Am I right?
Maybe, sir.
Maybe, yes, maybe. That is called a extraneous variable. Extraneous variable, which the researcher cannot control. I cannot control the fertility of the land. Can I control?
No.
I cannot control it. But what the researcher will do for it, he will divide the land into 4 pieces. I don't know whether I can do it or. Okay. Okay, like this he will divide. Okay. Now here he will put the crop. Right?
No, it's not coming.
Okay, no problem. Right. Okay. So here they will again divide and divide. Okay. So he divided. Imagine that he has divided the land into 4 pieces. Okay. Now he will put one place. Okay. Instead of 2, he will divide it into 4. He will put one place the new crop. Another place is old crop, new crop, old crop. Okay. In order to maximize the control on the fertility of the land, the variable of fertility of the land, he goes with a lot of dividing the land. If, for example, out of that land, it has been divided into 8 pieces. Okay, so 4 pieces new crop, 4 pieces old crop. Instead of 1 pieces new crop, 1 pieces old crop, 4 pieces. That means it increases the authenticity of the new crop is being given the yield within 3 months. You get the point? Because we have controlled the extraneous variable called fertility of the land. Right? It cannot, it may not be the reason of giving for the seed to give the yield within 3 months, because the seed itself has the kind of power, or the new crop is having capacity to give the yield within 3 months. You get the point? So that it is as a control group as well as it has the control group as well as the experimental group. So when you say experimental research, it should have control group and experimental group. Otherwise, it cannot be considered as a kind of what is it? Participatory research. Clear? Any other doubt? We stop it here. We will learn in the next class further. Any other questions?
What is mixed method, sir? Both.
Mixed methods, you use any number of quantitative, qualitative, or descriptive. In quantitative, you use descriptive, explorative, something. If you use a mixed method, means you are various design you are involving into your research.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay, I will share all my PPT. Don't worry.
So can we say that a research paper is I mean when we use both qualitative and quantitative methods can be termed as a mixed methods research.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a mixed method. So I will share my PPT. You don't worry. PPT will be shared through your campus. I will share all my PPT. You can go through it. Okay. Because for the learning purpose, it will be easy for you. So thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.